And welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I'm Michael DeLon, and today I am talking with Risha Walden. Now, Risha, first of all, thank you for squeezing me into your calendar and being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk.
Well, you are
with you.
welcome. I'm really excited as well. So, first time ever, I think, for Experts Speak and me. Risha is she's a vegan interior design expert. And she
Yes.
can help you with your house, with your office, doesn't really matter. But she approaches interior design from a very different perspective. And I'm really excited to dive into this. So, Risha, let's get started by, well, first of all, tell us, how in the world did you get to doing what you do today?
I started as an interior designer about 14 years ago. Well, actually, before that, I was always making my friends' homes and my family's homes. I was moving furniture around, and I started taking classes at the New York School of Interior Design, learning, acquiring knowledge, and helping my friends along the way. And at some point, I said, I can make this a business. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I can help people transform their lives and enrich their home spaces in particular, because I work mainly in residential interiors. But in terms of vegan, I did not start off as a vegan interior designer. I became vegan about 8 years ago. And when I became vegan, I just did it on a whim. And I thought, hey, I can go back anytime I want. But I quickly jumped down a rabbit hole, and I realized that for me, being a vegan was a moral choice. And knowing interior design and how prolific animal products are in interior design, I thought to myself, wow, I'm so hypocritical. I've chosen not to eat animals.
Yes.
And yet I'm selling them. I'm making money off it. I thought, I can't do that. I can't sleep at night.
Oh.
It doesn't sit well with me. So I started looking for alternatives for my clients so I could create cruelty-free homes without any animal products. And thus, vegan interior design, not popular, not something you hear every day, but I know for myself that I get up, I'm excited about what I do. I love what I do. And I'm making the change to create the kind of world I want to live in. And that's more important to me.
That is way cool. I applaud you for that, for being a woman of character and integrity and truthfulness to your own, because so many times we find people who aren't, right? And all right, so let's dive into this.
Mm-hmm.
Vegan by choice. All right, so give us an explanation. What is vegan interior design, and how does it differ from regular interior design, I guess?
Well, there's a lot of animal products that are used in interior design. And being a vegan, it's really a lifestyle choice. Being a vegan means that you you look at animals as more as a commodity. You see them as sentient beings. If you're just doing that choice in your diet, you're really just eating plant-based, and that's fine. That's great, honestly. But if you're vegan, it encompasses your whole life. And in interior design, we use products such as leather, silk, wool, bone, shell in so many applications on our flooring, our furniture, our decorative objects. As a vegan interior designer, I don't want to use those products, but I still want to create the beautiful aesthetics that my clients are looking for. And I'm always searching for alternatives, and it's amazing. I believe that the interest from veganism in food is pushing its way into interior design. I mean, we see it in fashion right now. So there are steps in interior design where people are offering alternatives. For leather, for instance. There's alternatives that are not animal products. And the bonus is they offer some of the same attributes that natural leather does. It's very durable. It's stain and soil resistant. But there's a whole host of other things, such as It doesn't require as much water. Leather requires an inordinate amount of water to be produced. It obviously doesn't hurt any animals. And
Right.
so now I'm creating this, to me, a
Interesting.
cruelty-free environment in your home. And that's what we want. We want our homes to be the place where we go to rest, to
Yeah.
relax, to recuperate. And they should, you know, everything is energy. So what we bring into our home is connected with that energy. And if we're bringing violent, traumatic energy into our homes, that's what we're living with. So I'm looking to reduce that, take that energy out and replace it with peaceful, calming energy. So you can have a home that works for you.
Very cool. I love it. So what's going through my audience's mind right now, I'm sure, is they're going, okay. So I'm living on cardboard boxes. What's going on? And number
No.
one, at the end, we're gonna point you to her website, because you just look at some of the designs on her websites and her portfolio there, you go, your mouth is gonna drop. Okay. So, and before we get there, let's talk about some of this of how do you do the design work, and what are with the finished product? What does it look like? Does it look like, if I walked in not knowing it was a vegan home? I mean, I'm not an interior designer. I mean, that is not my thing. Am I going to know a difference immediately? Is it going to be that stark, or is it going to be, let's sit down, let's have a,
Yeah, you're
right?
not going to notice. You're not going to notice because there are a lot of alternatives. There's a lot of options and choices. In fact, that's one of the main reasons why people use interior designers, is because the choices are overwhelming, and it's in those small details that, add up, that people just say, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I need help. Just like we look to experts for accounting.
Yes.
There's people who are great at, I mean, I use an accountant because I am not
Right.
an account. I can't, the numbers, no, like,
Yeah.
so I go and I use an accountant for that expertise. I go and use a lawyer for that expertise. And the same thing, I look, people look to interior designers to help them make those choices that are going to create their places that are
Yeah.
represent their personality and their lifestyle.
Yeah. Absolutely. Choices. So, my wife and I are getting ready to restain our exterior deck, right?
Uh-huh.
So we go and we start looking at paint colors. Oh
Yes.
my goodness, talk about overwhelm. So that's just one little
Exactly.
aspect, but that's not counting on, in your background, you've got chairs, you've got paintings, you've got an ottoman desk thing over there, and you've got all kinds of things that are
Yes.
really cool. So you help clients, primarily with their house, you said residential,
Right.
to what's the process? They come to you and say, hey, we want to redo our living room or dining room or whatever. Do you dive in and say, well, all right, let's talk about who you are, what you're wanting to accomplish? Help me. I've never hired an interior designer. Okay. So help me understand this whole process.
Well, it really is an intimate relationship between myself and my clients. I don't just start in and look around and say, okay, we're going to move all this furniture here. First, I have to understand your lifestyle, understand if we're looking at a living room, for instance, how are you using that living? What is the function of that living room? How much seating do you require? What kind of people do you have coming into your home? And then also, who are you? Like, are you a vibrant, dramatic person? Are you very calm and sedate and zen? Because that's going to tailor my design choices. I want it to feel like you're walking into your home,
Mm,
feel like it's your place. It's not your neighbor's. It doesn't look like it. I want it to feel like a magazine, but I want it to feel like your magazine.
mm,
So the conversations I have at the beginning are very important for me to assess what direction of design I want to go in. And then once I can understand that, I can move forward. And there's so many choices. I know where to go to get the pieces and the styles that are going to create that look that are representative of you and your lifestyle.
yeah, that's really cool. So I have this picture in my mind of you working with clients over a period of weeks or whatever to try to
Mhm.
figure this room out or whatever it is. And then you go off and you get all your stuff, and then you send them away for a day or so, this home makeover thing, right? And then they come back and you blindfold them and like, here it is. Is that kind of how it works, or is it not that dramatic?
Well, it can be, but unfortunately, with what's happening in today's world, the timelines have shifted
Mm,
to be extraordinary long, which is unfortunate, but it's kind of getting back. So I do like to have that day of transformation, but often I'm doing small install days because I want my clients to be able to enjoy what they have. And if we're looking
right.
at, there's another 6 months for the chair,
Yeah.
well, let's get the table in and the sofa in while we have, because that
Right.
happens to be in. So I'm doing smaller installs along the way.
Sure.
One transformation is great. It usually, though, frankly, it's usually just a couple of conversations at the beginning. And then I go away and do my thing. I present to my clients and giving them options. And then there's a long waiting period in which, I
You're-
do all the logistics and ordering, and then we have to wait for the pieces to come in. But
Yeah.
there's often work to be done, like painting or electrical, wallpapering. So that time can get filled up with those selections.
Very cool. And when you talk interior design, I'm just looking at your background, right? So
Mhm.
you're doing the whole thing. You come in and consult with the paint color, the pictures, perhaps on the wall, the
Yeah,
furniture, the lighting,
decor,
electrical, like
electrical.
moving the outlets and things.
That can be important. Lighting is so important in a home,
Hmm.
because if we don't, it ties into functionality. If we don't have the right light, the right lighting to be able to use a space, we tend not to go into it. We tend to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I live in an older home, most older homes, and I'm in New Jersey, so there are a lot of older homes.
Yeah.
Most of them didn't have overhead lighting. Uh,
Right. Oh,
so to walk into a room and you got to go fumble for a lamp, that's not convenient. And while we're painting and while we're doing everything, we want to increase the functionality. So you can go in, you can switch a light on. Ah, now you feel comfortable walking into the room. There's task lighting so that you can do work or reading. Um, there's accent lighting to
mhm.
give ambiance and feel to the room. So there's lots of different layers, electrical, but there's also lots of different layers in interior design, because we have the walls to design, but we also have the ceiling. Ceiling is a great place for expression, and the floor, lots of expression.
Yeah.
And then we have layers. Well, we have the large pieces of furniture, then we have smaller pieces of furniture, and then it's the decorative objects that sit on the furniture, the art on the walls, the lamp, on and on, lots of details. So
Yeah.
here, this is my office, but you can see I have chosen to paint the ceiling the same color as my walls.
Yes. Yeah. I see
Um,
that occasionally, but not very often. It's very cool.
yeah,
Um, the other thing that I want to, and I want people to go to your website when we're done here, because there was
yeah,
one like a stairway or something like log cabin ish,
yes,
in which is really cool because so many times when we think interior design, I'm thinking what your office is, right? And
right,
very pristine. And at the same time, somebody says, "No, I want this old rustic feel." You can do that. You can
yeah,
do whatever they want,
mhm,
but it's a matter of having that conversation to go,
absolutely,
here's what I'm in a sense, here's what we don't like. Here's what we would love. If I had a magic wand,
right,
now let's figure out maybe a midpoint, or maybe you can get me there. I don't, maybe you're a
right.
magician. I don't know.
I am. I
You
am
know,
a
you
magician.
went down the rabbit hole. Maybe you can pull a rabbit out of that hat, you know?
There's lots of creative ways of making the decor um, expressive.
Yeah.
That because I'm doing this all the time, I'm in touch with all those
Yeah.
different ways of doing decoration or design.
Well, yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
most lay people don't know. I mean, it's just the same with an accountant. Accountant
Sure.
knows where he can cut, give you breaks on your taxes. I
Right.
may not be aware of the laws, so I'm
Yeah.
taking advantage of that with my accountant. Same with an
Yeah.
interior design.
Well, I love where you're going, because you're kind of a pioneer in a sense on vegan interior design.
Yes.
All right, so my wife a number of years ago decided to be gluten free, and she
Okay.
is more by choice than everything. And so back in the day, we were eating cardboard. I mean, gluten free was terrible a decade
Right.
ago. Well, today it's pretty good. And
Right,
we feed gluten-free stuff to our friends who come over from church or whatever, and they don't know it's gluten-free.
right.
And I think that's kind of where you are, is you're on this leading edge here, setting a trajectory for an industry really that is probably going to blossom in the coming years, because more and more people are going to get acclimated to it, to go, oh, I have a choice.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of people just don't even know that there is a choice out there. They just go to the furniture store
right.
or whatever, versus saying, you know what? No, you need to pause. You need to call Risha, have a
Yeah,
conversation with her, and say, here's what we're thinking.
yeah,
And especially I was thinking, maybe not first time home buyers, but maybe second time home buyers. When they're getting to that next home where they have family and things, to go, how do we structure maybe different areas in our home? A home theater room would look totally different than the sitting room or something. What could you help? How could you help us do that? How could you help us, Risha, dream to build this home, not just externally, what my dream home looks like, but internally, so every room has its own unique feel, shape, whatever. Am I in the ballpark?
absolutely. But first time home buyers as well, because we rare homes are usually the number one largest purchase we'll ever make in our life.
Mm-hmm.
And what I have found is people buy the home and then they live in whatever existed before for years and years and years and years. And then they go to sell the home. They're like, oh my goodness, we got to make this look good so we can make money on it.
Right.
What?
It's
Why
backwards.
don't you do it like as soon as you can? I understand that there's always budget constraints. Nobody has ever come to me and said, spend more, Risha, spend more. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
But there are budget constraints, but there are ways of creating this home and upgrading the home so that you get to enjoy it. And when the time comes and you're going to sell the house, you will benefit from the appreciation on that upgrades that you've done. Now, most people are not. It doesn't matter how beautiful your home is. People are still going to buy it and they're going to change it, but they're not going to do that until they move in. As long as it looks
Yeah.
beautiful and clean, it may not be their style, but if it feels like this home that has been used and loved, it's going to be attractive to the next home
That's right.
buyer.
Yeah. Because that's an emotional decision, and we
Yeah.
always make decisions emotionally.
Right, absolutely. And I want to say one thing. You mentioned about choice. And to me, that is luxury.
Mm.
Luxury isn't having, expensive crocodile skin everywhere. Luxury to me is having the choice to decide what you want to have in your home. That
Mm.
is luxury.
I love that. I love that. Let's end there, because that's a great line. Where I mean, this has been a fascinating conversation. That You just opened up my mind, but I know my audience's
Good.
mind to go, this is a thing? Yes, this is
Yeah,
a thing.
it
And
is.
and reaches on the cutting edge of this thing. So I'm sure you're gonna see more of her. Um, where do people find you? And do you do work all over the country?
I do work. I can go anywhere. I'm in New Jersey. You can catch them on my website, walden-interiors with an s.com. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn. And if you sign up for my email, um, I send newsletters bi-weekly or monthly that you can catch up on and get some tips if you are wanting to do it yourself, or just see what new and fascinating and wonderful things are out there in interior design.
I think that's really cool. So
Yeah,
walden-interiors.com. And I'll have all that in the show notes as well.
perfect.
So if you're exercising or driving right now, don't worry about it. You can go to the show notes. You can find out more about Risha Walden, the vegan interior designer. It's really fascinating how she can help you transform your home, your life, and do it in as she would say, a cruelty-free way. Love that phrase. Yeah, check it out. This has been really an interesting, inciting, mind-opening conversation. I think it's very, very cool what you're doing,
Thank
and
you.
the future is going to be great. We'll probably have you back in 5 years, and you'll be the Oprah vegan interior. Risha,
Thanks so
thank
much,
you.
Michael.
You're welcome. It's been so much fun. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.